Would that mean that there is less incentive to be very active on social media, or does that still play a key role to be able to build your reputation and earn trust?
I'm a bit hesitant to say it, but when you're working with a large enterprise, the reputation is based on the product or the service. And if it's service, it's the people who are on the account who are actually going to do the service. Like, for example, when we work with LinkedIn, they don't care who Neil Patel is. They're just like, who at NP Digital is going to work on our account and what is their background? That's what people look at as from a reputation standpoint.
The reason that I was asking is because I know you're very active on things like Twitter, right? Or any other social platform. And so I'm curious to know if it's more of the reputation of the team when you personally get very active on social and connect and use that as a platform. Is it more for, is it direct networking? Is it for having like a large following that helps you close more deals? I'm just curious to know, where do you see the roles of these social media platforms in helping you grow your business?
Yeah, so I look at social media as getting your brand out there and ideally with your ideal customers. And if you can end up just being out there and appealing, creating content that helps your ideal customers, the better off you're going to be. But where people go wrong with social media is, let's say if I ended up creating content that's around, I've worn 122 outfits and this is the most optimal one. That kind of content would go viral, and there's nothing wrong with that content. But that's not going to cause someone at Apple to go and hire me. But on the flip side, if I talk about how to leverage AI in your paid advertising to generate a higher ROI and expand your marketing campaigns globally faster, that's really nichey content that's pretty much only applicable to enterprise corporations. And although this nichey content, the TAM, the total addressable market of those big enterprises, really isn't a niche, it's massive.
And then at least when you have that engagement, you're getting the right kind of engagement as opposed to fashionistas.
Yes.
Are you seeing that mistake happen a lot? Like a lot of people are trying to get themselves out there, and it seems like that whole like chasing the followers, chasing that kind of social number out there is overinflated, I would probably assume, and I'd be curious to know your opinion. And that gets you kind of lost into these kind of activities that don't even drive the single revenue. So that amongst many things, would you say is one of the biggest mistakes people make?
It's with social media, yes, that's a massive mistake. People just care about followers. A lot of people do care about engagement too, which is great. But what they're not looking at is how many of those followers will actually turn into customers.
Yeah. I always have this story I share, which is and I was doing a similar post on both the Instagram, both on LinkedIn. And then it was a picture of me, and I was just giving some insights when it comes to like doing more sales, doing them ethically, which is mostly what I speak about. And then I posted on LinkedIn, and it was interesting. I had one comment, which was one individual who was like, "Wow, that was very helpful. I look forward to your book coming out. I'm going to buy it on a release date." And I was like, "That's awesome." And then I went to my Instagram, and I had four comments and a lot of likes. And so I'm feeling all perked up. I'm like, "This is awesome." And the comments were like, "Oh, nice beard, looking sharp." And I was like, "Huh." I don't know if that's going to translate into results, but it feels good to the ego.
Feels great, but it's not going to translate into anything, right? And that's where people get it wrong. They optimize for ego, feeling good, social status, but what they're not optimizing for is revenue. And that's what we look at social is like, what's the real revenue?
We are now in 2023 as we record this, and you've been working with large organizations. You've been helping them with digital marketing, analytics, conversions. I know you've had so many amazing growth hacking tools. I can just think back of Hello Bar. I remember that was quite the innovation to generate a whole lot of leads. And this was maybe back in 2015, I think Hello Bar was out.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to know, in today's landscape, are you seeing most organizations have started adapting kind of the direct response online marketing things that were quite cutting edge, I find, 10 years ago? A lot of these technologies were really exciting, growing, and large organizations were usually trailing when it comes to adapting.
Most of them have adapted the technologies. A lot of those old technologies also don't exist anymore because they were features. People now focus on buying products that were platforms that can do everything and they focus on integrating them. And a lot of large corporations have already adopted them.
Hmm. And so with now, is it the fact that AI rising is going to be the biggest thing to disrupt again the entire market? And given that you're very, because SEO has always been a big part of your kind of niche content expertise. I've seen some crazy AI tools that are really pumping out a lot of really great quality content that seems to be shaping the SEO world in an interesting way. So I'd be curious to know about that industry and what's going on.